Welcome to the Defense Aerospace Report. I'm Vago Muradian here in Northern Virginia, where we are visiting with Ambassador Link Bloomfield, who Chairman Emeritus of the Stimson Center think tank, served in 5 Republican administrations, State Department, Defense Department, as well as in the White House. Your last job was the special representative to collect all the man-pads, the shoulder-fired missiles from around the world, which was a big threat. With Palmer Coates, so you're a partner over there, and you worked with Tom Harvey, longtime national security hand, wrote the first national security strategy in 1987 for President Reagan. And you guys have authored in the national interest the publication that's either called Statecraft in the Trump era or Strategy in the Trump era, whether or not you're looking online or otherwise. Very long, very serious article looking at some of the things that you and I have talked about, and you've devoted certainly your post-government career to how to do this better when it comes to national security strategy. Talk to us a little bit about what you guys were trying to achieve with the piece, because obviously it's coming at a key moment when the administration is working through both the national security strategy. Secretary Mattis over at the Pentagon is leading a team. They're working very closely with the White House to try to craft this sort of the administration's view of national security. Talk to us a little bit about why you guys wrote it, and what are the key takeaways that you guys are trying to achieve?
Well, thanks, Vago. Tom Harvey, of course, helped write the legislation during the Reagan era to create the national security strategy. Senator Warner, Senator Nunn, Congressman Cheney sent him over to the White House under Colin Powell and President Reagan to write the first one. So he's always interested when a new administration is coming in to help them out, make them aware of what's been done in the past, what they're required to do. And after the election, he mobilized that effort and got me thinking and some other people, and we started a discussion about where are we and what would be useful at this time. As I looked at it, it seemed to me that even if, however the election had come out, we were not doing too well, looking at it from a historical perspective. Things were not going very well. The debt's been increasing at an alarming rate. The 2 wars in Iraq and Afghanistan have been unresolved for a long time. There's a consensus breaking down. Washington is not showing the rest of the world how a democracy functions. We're not setting an example that others really want to follow. There are a lot of Americans who feel left behind and are starting to yell about it. So if Donald Trump had not become the president, Bernie Sanders came pretty close. He could have been the Democratic nominee, and that might have been a different outcome. But so there was really a popular sense that things weren't right, and there's historic reasons for that. So we wanted to put our finger on that and say, all right, let's look long term. What are the things that could really take America off the track as the leading superpower? And there are several of them. But if you look at sort of North Korea, South China Sea, Ukraine, ISIS, Iran, things like that, that's the in-basket. But it's really not the strategic issue set. The strategic issue set is really the erosion of democracy and the rise of a sort of high-tech, internet-enabled autocracy of political dictators around the world. That's dangerous, because that could actually become the more sort of successful model for governance, and we need to be thoughtful about that. There's corruption and there's illicit trafficking of all kinds. The government tends to attack these things, one issue at a time, when they should bundle it all together and recognize that it's a growing cancer. There's extremism in the world. There's the nuclear proliferation threat, and we believe that the rise of global temperatures is going to cause the U.S. military to have to do a whole lot of things that they wouldn't have to do otherwise. So that's our 5th. So we looked at all those things, and then after 35 years in and out of government, we had a lot to say about how we do things. We have great people. We have great institutions, but it's not really delivering results. And we wanted to shake up the bureaucracy and say, look, there are culture issues here. Let's be self-critical. Look at how the U.S. Army calls the 3 and 4 stars into a room, and they admit when they're not doing well. We need to do that with the civilian agencies and start looking in the mirror and saying it's not a personal thing, but we have got to really realign the bureaucracy and put it together in a way that has more impact. We can't afford to do it the way we've been doing it. It's not delivering results.